All right, welcome back. My apologies. So what we figured out was we had too many audio sources coming in, which created the echo. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to bring Jackson on tonight, and I don't think we're going to be able to bring on Anthony either. But we'll wait for Mark to come back on. But while we wait for Mark, the Saints have picked as well. So let's recap what has happened here through the first 8 picks of the NFL draft. So Sonny Styles goes to the Redskins, to the Commanders from Ohio State. Mansour Delane from LSU, the cornerback, goes to Kansas City, who traded up from 9 to 6, gave up their 9 pick, their third round pick, and their fifth-round pick this year. You there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. So I figured out what happened. So we had 3 different audio sources trying to mesh into one, which we can't do. Unfortunately, we all got to be on the same type of audio source, so we won't be
Oh,
able to have Jackson on, and that's okay. Um,
I,
but go ahead.
this draft's going fast, buddy. We're already at
I
number
know.
9.
Look,
The
so
Saints.
so the last couple, the Saints pick is in. Sonny Styles, the linebacker, to the Commanders. I want to go back to the Chiefs pick, Mark, because I feel like did they need to make this trade to draft Delane?
No, my buddy Garrett, who's in Kansas City, just texted me, right? This idea of, hey, that guy was going to be there at 8 or 9. Why did you give up a third and a fifth to do this? Why?
Right.
Right. And now if you're Cleveland, you're probably thinking the player we wanted. All right, we're going to get him at 9. So desperate move by Kansas City.
Here's one of the things that my good buddy Jared out of Baltimore, who does a remarkable job with mock drafts. He knows the Ravens inside. I swear the guy could be the general manager for the franchise. He's just absolutely terrific. Um, he really leaned heavily into, if you look at his mock draft, into the offensive lineman. But thus far, to this pick, for teams in the middle portion of this first round, there are a lot of really, really good offensive linemen still available.
Yeah, there's a lot on the board still. There really is. Look, I know I keep hammering this. You're going to get sick of me saying this. Still no player from the SEC in the top 10. And that
No,
might
listen, buddy.
happen here.
We got Texas Tech, Big 12, Notre Dame, Independent, Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State. Um, that's Big Ten. LS, yeah. Well, we got LSU.
LSU. All right, so one. I
One.
apologize. One from LSU. One player, right? It's so far in this. That is wild.
Yeah.
And again, Ruben Bain is still on the board. He's still on the board there. This is where maybe you have the Saints, maybe you have the Giants right there. That might be the pick for them.
The last NFL draft that had NFL drafts in which 3 wide receivers were selected. Well, that's in the top 10 picks was 2024. You had Harrison Jr., Neighbors, and Adunze. NFL drafts in which a college had 2 wide receivers selected in the first round. Obviously, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. So I don't know. We'll see. But Jordan Tyson is the pick for the wide receiver out of Arizona State.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the pick
Wow.
for the Saints.
That's what they're going. They are going with. They feel like what is Shuck, the quarterback? They feel like he's their guy, and now they're going to get him a wide receiver, and they're going to contend in that division. That's what they're thinking. Hey, you know what's funny? What did they go? Let me look at this right now. They went 6-11. They only lost the division by 2 games last year, going 6-11. 8-9 Carolina got it done. They're going to get a wide receiver. They're going offense. That is a fascinating pick.
Who? So right now you still have The big tackle from Miami left.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain. You got another great wide receiver out of USC and Makai Lemon. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. Monroe. Here's the offensive lineman. You got Alavania Lone out of Penn State, the guard. You got the big tackle out of Georgia, Monroe Fleming, still available, and the big tackle out of Miami, still available. So the Browns pick is in. What do you do here? Do you go get Shador Sanders or whoever the quarterback is going to be help in terms of protection or a wide receiver, or do you keep building a defense that was really really good last year?
Yeah, it's a it's a great question because do you go defensive end and pair it with the MVP of all defenses right now, right? You go that are you going to have the craziest D line in the NFL, or do you feel like we need help? It's offensive line or defensive line. I think we could agree on this.
Man,
And I think
I think if you're the Browns and you pair Ruben Bain up with Miles Garrett,
Mm.
Mark, that is as badass of a pass rushing
Oh yeah.
combo as there would be in the National Football League for years to come.
Yeah, and if you're Cleveland now, you look at that trade, okay, we're going to get the player we wanted anyway and we added the third and the fifth for depth and Cleveland needs all the depth they can get. Then I think they're going to if they get the player they want all along and not have to pay him as much cuz he's down more, going closer to 9-10, I think it's a win for the Cleveland Browns.
But if you're the Browns, you don't draft him because nobody went to his birthday.
Are you talking Are
I
you
love
talking
that.
draft day? Are you talking draft day?
I'm sorry. I know it's the hoaxiest movie of all time, but I love Draft Day. How do you eat your pancakes, Mark Moses?
Hey, the quarterback is named Bo Callahan. I
Bo
remember.
Callahan, baby.
So they take
Bo
what did
Callahan.
they do? They took a linebacker at number 1 and then an injured Florida State running back with their
Yeah,
other top 10 pick. That's
and
what they
stayed with the quarterback who had reconstructive knee surgery.
yeah, that's what they and you know what? And they probably got the number 1 pick the next year as well. That's probably
Right.
what in
Hey,
the sequel.
look, their general manager talked himself through a no hitter at Yankee Stadium as a Tiger.
Oh, so it's all about I did not think we'd be talking Kevin Costner at the end of this broadcast. Okay.
I think where this draft also gets a little interesting coming up is what will the New York Giants do again? With they're the first team on the board that's got multiple picks. And in case you missed it earlier, there are, as Mark alluded to, the Jets, Giants, both New York teams with multiple first round picks. I'd like to know the last time that happened, if it's ever happened. The
All right.
Browns, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, and the Cowboys, all with multiple picks in the first round. And the Bengals, the Colts, the Packers, the Jags, the Broncos, and the Falcons with no picks in the round. Mark, let's get everybody up to date. The most picks in the draft belong to the home team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. In this draft, the least amount of picks, and this is what I wanted to ask you about. You know, Josh McDaniel comes from one of these franchises in the Ravens that value draft picks. The Seahawks have just 4. What does Seattle do to try to build a little more through this draft with just 4 picks?
I think it's one of those things where you went all in to win the Super Bowl last year. You gambled everything. It paid off, right? It did. Long term, it's one of those things. All right, your window's going to be right now, but it's one of those drafts. All right, you only have 4 picks. You better hit on all 4 picks, and hopefully, moving forward in next year's draft, you have more picks moving forward. But look, Pittsburgh has 12. All right, you have 12 picks. How many guys are even going to make the roster? That's the question. Can you get 6 guys? Can 4 of them be impact players? You're not going to have all 12 players make the team. That's not going to happen, Alan.
Spencer Fano from Utah. That's offensive tackle, Spencer Fano. So the Browns do opt for one of the best tackles in the draft in Spencer Fano out of Utah. The thing that impresses me about Spencer Fano is I don't think this guy gave up any sacks, Mark, in the last 2 years of his career.
So again, Browns trade down, get a third and a fifth round pick, get the Chiefs, what is it, ninth pick?
Yeah.
And I had Fano, I thought the Titans would take him at number 4. But if it's Deshaun Watson or it's Shador Sanders, hey, you got your offensive line beefed up. That's what you have.
I can't even believe we're still talking about Watson as a quarterback for this team.
I know. He's still guaranteed all that
In
money.
this league, for God's sakes, in this league.
He hasn't been good since before he was injured on Houston. Houston's already had another quarterback, and he's played like 3 years in the NFL. That's how crazy this is.
All right, Mark. So there's your mock. So far, what do you got? 3, 4?
Three. So
I have, yeah, I'm not winning the coin. So there you have. Let's. We'll take a look at this when it ends tonight and piece it together and get Marco. Let me know who won. So
dude, usually, all right. So I've been doing like draft parties for years. This is one of the first years I didn't do it. Right, that's another story.
Yeah.
So usually it's 2 hours. We're at pick. What are we at? Pick 10.
Yeah.
We're gonna be at pick 10, and we've only gone for an hour.
Yeah,
right?
the 2 minutes is tremendous. I know it doesn't feel like a lot, but just off the clock alone, Mark, that's an hour with the number of teams. You know, you're taking an hour of time off the clock in total. The Giants pick it is, and they're going to take an offensive tackle out of Miami, Mark, Francis Moaga.
Yeah, I thought he'd go to the Browns. And so there you go. So another one.
Yeah, here comes the run on tackles because now everybody's going to panic here on this situation and start grad snatching these linemen up. My guy Jared had them go. All these guys going a little higher, but he's right. Here they are now, right there at the top of the first round. And listen, this is John Harbaugh. This is what he does. You know, he loves to anchor his offensive line. And he went and got, his linebacker with Arvell Reese.
Okay, good. Now we don't have to talk about the Giants anymore. All right. Let them get their pick. We can move on. I know the Dolphins are at 11. So if you're
the Dolphins have traded down one slot with the Dallas Cowboys.
Why would okay. First off, what's so great is I'm going split screen. I'm looking at the TV broadcast right now.
Yeah.
Dude, you're in the future. You're in the super. I'm looking. They're like literally the Browns pick is in, and they're showing the Saints guys, right? And like I'm telling you, it is wild how like fast social media is going compared to the TV broadcast.
Yeah, it's crazy, but the Dallas Cowboys have made the trade. The Dolphins have dropped back on. And look, it's almost 90-year-old Jerry Jones. So let's see what the Dolphins were able to fleece out of him for one spot.
All right. So the thing is, all right, you're Dallas. You're at 11. All right. So what do they have? They're going to have the 11th pick, and then they also still have the 20th pick.
Go ahead.
There's no way they traded their other number.
They want Downs or Styles. They want one of those defensive players. That's my opinion. And if you know me personally, you know I grew up obviously a Baltimore Colts fan, but when they left my heart, I've been to 2 Super Bowls, both Dallas Cowboys Super Bowls. I grew up a Cowboys fan. I went to Super Bowls 12 and 13. I went to New Orleans and I went to Miami with my father. And so I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan. I still am a Dallas Cowboy fan. Obviously, the Ravens are my first love, but we all have that second team, and for me, it's the Cowboys. The frustration level for Cowboys fans is this: when they traded Micah Parsons, they pick up this other pick in the first round with the Packers, and that's this pick, Mark. That's this pick that they just traded. So it's a twice traded pick. I think this is that pick, and I think they're going to go with defense. They're going to have to go with defense if I were making a pick, because once they traded Michael Parsons, they couldn't stop anybody.
No, they could not. They need all the help they can get. And this is fast. All right. It's funny where we're talking 2 picks from now. Now they're on the clock. The Giants pick is in. So we're still in actual real universe time. We're at the 10th pick right now. And I just want to say this about the Giants, right? All right. So Dexter Lawrence, they trade him. That's how they got this pick. Lawrence is going to make $28 million this upcoming year. I know he's been a top 5 defensive lineman the last couple of years, but I actually like this for the Giants. Hey, you get to start young. You weren't winning anyway. You don't have to pay this guy $28 million. This draft pick's going to be cheaper, right? I actually like this for the Giants, but you already had the pick, right? It's offensive line.
Yeah, no, it's just going to be an interesting pick coming up. The Cowboys pick is in. The Giants still on the stage celebrating. Then it's the Dolphins, the Rams, the Ravens, the Bucks. Dolphins, Rams, Ravens, Bucks.
If you are the Dolphins and he's on the board, do you take Ruben Bain out of Miami?
I absolutely take Ruben Bain out of Miami if he's still on the board. But it wouldn't shock me if Dallas picked him either right here.
You're absolutely right. And dude, we saw him play all last year. He was a wrecking ball for the Hurricanes.
He's been a wrecking ball for 2 years, Mark. For 2 years.
Yeah. And that is just wild. It is. So do we have our top 10 picks? We're good, right?
Yeah, our top 10 picks are done. I guess you'll accumulate that total. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it now, obviously. I know usually you do that after the draft party's over and then announce it. It's up to you if you want to do it now. But for those watching, we will message you tonight and let you know you won. And then I'll get in touch with you tonight as well to send the money. So I don't want to do it right now just because it'll take. Yeah. You good?
All right. I am good. Thank you for having me tonight, buddy. I appreciate it.
No, man. Listen, thank you. Because ever since we did this the last time, every year somebody asked me, are you guys going to do that again? Are you guys going to do that? And look, I get it. We're not ESPN or the NFL Network. We don't have the insiders that they got. But you know what, buddy? You know what we do have? We got you, we got me, and we got these awesome ChatGPT graphics. So.
All right. I will put it. I'm going to look at everyone's thing, and I will get you the winner, and I will post that.
Yeah,
let me work on it, and then
man. I want to thank the Highland Mint as well because you do great work with them, and so that's Fernando Mendoza becomes just the 6th ever player in the history of professional football tonight to win the Heisman, win a national championship, and then be selected number 1 overall. He joins Angelo Bertelli, 1944, Leon Hart, and then for those of us born in this era, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, and the last player to do it was Joe Burrow. As far as Heisman Trophy winners being the number 1 overall pick, I believe he is the 26th Heisman Trophy winner to ever be the number 1 overall pick. So good for Fernando Mendoza.
And the one that wasn't, if you're going to go trivia, I'll end with this. So Trevor Lawrence never won the Heisman. You thought he did. He never won it. No. What's it called? Your quarterback at Carolina won it for Bama. Caleb Williams won it. You brought up Joe Burrow. All these guys, Fernando Mendoza, right? Cam Ward did not win the Heisman, right? I don't think so. I can't even remember.
No, Cam Ward did not.
Yeah, so there's another one. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, let me work on it, buddy.
The Cowboys pick is in. It has been in, and I suspect that we will get Commissioner Goodell, not Rozelle, as I alluded to earlier. So the Cowboys get the 11th. The Dolphins get the 12th pick and 2 5th-round picks in this year's draft for 1 spot. Good for the Miami Dolphins, who need absolutely everything for 1 spot in this draft.
Yes, they do. All right. I'm going to let you go. Let me work on this, okay? I will keep you up to date.
All right. Let me see if you are you coming back?
Do you want me to come back?
I do want you to come back. I want you.
Let me leave. Let me leave and work on it.
I'm going to work until the Bucks pick comes in.
Okay, let me work on it.
All right. All right, let's see if we can text Jackson, and let's see if we can get Jackson back in here. And if he gets so it is Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State, going to the Dallas Cowboys with the 11th pick in the draft. The Dolphins dropped down to number 12, and they need everything. The Miami Dolphins need absolutely everything. Wide receiver, offensive line, secondary help. So there's literally a plethora of players they could take here. They still got the safety out of USC they can take. They still got Sonny Styles, the linebacker they can take. You need offensive line help. You got that available too, as well. Let me refresh the best available according to. So and I like Mark's idea, Caleb, to go get Ruben Bain. See if see if Ruben Bain will come in. You got Makai Lemon out of USC. The Dolphins could take a tight end. They got a new quarterback this year, so we'll see here. Let's see if we can get Jackson back on with us.
Personally, if I'm the Dolphins here, though, I would want to take another offensive lineman because you want, theoretically, you're going to be taking a quarterback next year.
I like the signing of Malik Willis for the Miami Dolphins. I did. I think, they get him for 3 years, $67.5 million. He comes in cheap. That's cheap for a starting quarterback these days. My only concern with Malik Willis was watching him play, against the Ravens. He was injury prone in that game a little bit, and he took some shots, and so injury concerns, but that's not anything the Dolphins aren't used to at the quarterback position. That's for sure. While we see if we can get Jackson in, obviously we cover a lot of high school sports here on Brevard Sports Network. And as far as high school picks from various states, where does Florida rank? Check this thing out Max Preps did today.
No state has produced more NFL draft picks than Florida over the last 10 years. The Sunshine State has had 299 players selected since 2016, and some notable dudes include Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Surtain II, Nick Bosa, Jalen Carter, James Cook, Derwin James, Trey Hendrickson, Nick Bonito, and Brian Burns. Texas is right under Florida and has produced 298 picks over the last decade, and some big-time names include Patrick Mahomes, Myles Garrett, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Max Crosby, CeeDee Lamb, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Antoine Winfield Jr., Christian Gonzalez, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, and Kyler Murray. California checks in at number 3 with 219 selections. Josh Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Fred Warner, Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, Trent McDuffie, Vita Vea, Drake London, Jordan Love, Chris Olave, Jared Goff, Tetairoa McMillan, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Cam Scatterbo headline the list. Georgia was the only other state to eclipse the 200 pick mark with 209 selections. Jahmyr Gibbs, Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Hamilton, Will Anderson, Tyreek Hill, Alvin Kamara, Roquan Smith, J.C. Horn, Bradley Chubb, and Travis Hunter were some of the notable names. And when you look at the big 4 states, they have combined for 39.9% of the selections. Louisiana and Ohio were the only other states that have produced at least 100 draft picks over the last decade. North Carolina, Alabama, and Pennsylvania were the only other states that have hit the 75 pick mark. In total, 47 different states along with Washington, D.C. have had at least one player selected since 2016. And
all right, so there you go, Florida. The pick is in for the Miami Dolphins, and it's Caden Proctor, the offensive tackle out of Alabama, to protect Malik Willis. And again, Caden Proctor, I thought, was about the 8th, 9th, or 10th best player left on the board. I get it. There must be something the Dolphins like about him, because I like Monroe Freeling a little better than Caden Proctor. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. And Miami Dolphins, you said they needed offensive line help, and that's what they went and did.
Well, because regardless of where you go, this year and next year, I think the consensus will be Miami will still be looking to get that next quarterback next year. I'm of that belief. So either way, whether you have this young cheap cat in Malik Willis, or you get an Arch Manning or whoever next year, you would still like that line to be shored up.
So now you go down to 13 in the Rams, and here's something you don't see very often are the Rams drafting in the first round or the first couple of rounds, because they just, for whatever reason, just believed in always trading these picks to go get guys to help them win. So Sean McVay keeps the pick this year, and we'll see what happens here with this. And the Rams, they were that team last year that I thought would sneak up on everybody there at the end. Didn't happen. So for whatever McVay thinks the reason that was is obviously what he's going to address here. If he Rams needs coming into the draft, offensive tackle, wide receiver, linebacker. You can see Sonny Styles here. I wouldn't be shocked to see the tight end out of Oregon go here. Or you keep the wide receiver from USC home right here. That's a great fit for the Rams. Or you take Fleming out of Georgia. Any one of those three guys, I think, would be a terrific fit for the Rams. So we'll see what they do here. Their pick is already in. It may be Makai Lemon out of USC. I mean, why not keep the kid home?
Remember, the biggest reason the Rams didn't sneak up on everybody there at the end is because they couldn't keep their wide receiving core healthy.
Right.
They suffered the injury bug at that wide receiver and defensive back positions.
You got the hybrid like Kenyon Sadiq, and let's see, we got Jackson back here. Jackson, do we have an echo?
No, I don't hear one this time.
All right, there we go. What's up, brother? So
What's up?
The Rams pick is in. The Dolphins, I'm not crazy about. Listen, I get it. The Dolphins acquired more draft capital with the Cowboys by trading down a spot here. But do you like the pick by the Dolphins of Caden Proctor? I mean, you got a new quarterback this year. I get it. Offensive line has been an issue. Your thoughts on the Dolphins pick?
Yeah, I think the Dolphins had a lot of needs. They let a lot of guys go this year, so I think there was a lot of positions that they needed. I mean, with Caleb Downs slipping out of the top 10, I don't know if Miami necessarily got enough in return, in my opinion, to give him up to the Cowboys. So if I were them, I just would have stuck it out at 11 and just got Caleb Downs at that point. But I guess at the 12th spot, I don't think Proctor's a bad pick. It's just I would have rather had Caleb Downs.
Here's something we don't see every day, and that's the Rams picking high in the NFL draft. Caleb and I were just discussing Jackson. Maybe they go keep the kid home from USC and Makai Lemon. Maybe it's Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon, or they need offensive line help as well. Where do you see the Rams going here?
I really think it's going to be Makai Lemon, and I was surprised to see this earlier as I was looking at mock drafts, but this is pretty much the consensus of what I've been seeing. And they have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, but I know Devontae Adams is a little older, and outside of those two guys, they really don't have wide receiver depth at all. So really what I've been seeing there is it's going to be Makai Lemon. So at this point, I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
I agree. I think it's going to be Makai Lemon as well. Let me ask you this. You do terrific work on the show today, the Sports Lab there. What did you guys deduce for the Buccaneers coming up? Where do you see the Bucs going here tonight?
Yeah, the Bucs right now, I think what I saw is if Akeem Mesidor is still there on the defensive line, I think that's where Tampa's going to go. I think the Bucs, they don't have huge needs that they need to fill. I think they have a little bit of an ability to play best player available. I think they're good offense. The offensive line, it could go receiver again because Mike Evans departed, but I think they're going to go Akeem Mesidor if he's there at 15. But the good thing is for the Bucs, they can play a little bit of best player available if someone slides.
I'm looking at my Ravens at 14 here, and I know Eric DeCosta's got to be licking his chops because if it is the wide receiver from USC that goes to the Rams need help on the pass rush. And I can't think for any reason on God's green football earth why they wouldn't take Reuben Bain Jr.
Yeah, that would be big. I honestly thought the Ravens might go offensive line, interior offensive line.
I didn't expect Bain to be here.
Yeah, for Ruben Bain to be here is definitely huge, and if I don't think the Rams will take him, so that is something definitely that I wasn't looking at for the Ravens originally, but that's just one of those guys I don't know if you can pass up.
And then let's talk about your Panthers. You're sporting that Panther jersey there. I guess some Carolina fans here in Florida. So what? Your Panthers had a good year last year, Jackson. What do you see them doing?
Yeah, I'm definitely not used to seeing us pick at a slot with double-digit numbers. It's been a little while, but yeah, I think I think we addressed defense well for the longest time this offseason. I was waiting for it to be D-line and linebacker, but I have been hearing wide receiver again. I personally don't want that. I think that if Kenyon Sadiq's still there, I think that's where we will go ultimately. If he's not, I would love to see a safety. Either Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon would probably be my top pick, or I forget the man's name out of Toledo off the top of my head, but the second highest safety in this draft. I would like to see a safety. I think we have good depth back there, cornerback, but safety-wise alongside the guys that we have back there, like Traven Merrick, I think that a safety would be great. But if Kenyon Sadiq's still there, I would not be surprised if the Panthers took him.
Emmanuel McNeil Warren,
that would be the man.
Yeah. So your assessment so far of what you've seen, have there been any surprises? I don't like what the Chiefs did.
No.
I mean, to me, that's you trade spots, you drop down 3 picks, you give up with a lot of draft capital this year, and yeah, I'm not sure you couldn't have gotten him at 9.
Yeah, that was my initial reaction immediately was Mansour Delane would have been there. I thought they were trading up to get Caleb Downs or Jordan Tyson was what I immediately thought. But yeah, I mean, I think this draft has been just as unpredictable as I thought. I mean, the fact Caleb Downs wasn't a first rounder, the fact Ruben Bain's still here, the fact we saw Carnell Tate in the top 4. I did not expect to see Jeremiah Love go number 3 either. I don't think it's necessarily a bad pick, but I thought he was going to be 4 or 5. I didn't think he was going to be top 3. So there were definitely a lot of things that went off my predictions.
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me? All right.
Yes, I can hear you. And we have no echo, and we have Jackson. So let's just stick with what we got here. So let me just see something here. All right, there we are.
Okay.
Hey,
Jackson.
Echo.
How's it going?
Mark,
Hey,
do you have a winner?
All right. Before I get to the winner, Jackson, I want you to know you're doing a great job up there at Florida. I saw you on WRUF. Keep doing your thing, buddy. All right, that's what you need to do. And by the way, I am rocking my hair just like you. I'm going to grow it back. I'm going to do it, buddy. Do it. All right. I tallied it up. I don't know if you're going to like this. Okay. I don't know if you're going to like this.
All right.
With 4 picks right in the top 10, our winner is our good friend Chris Bonanno, who beat me by 1 pick. That's what it was. Most people got 1 pick right, including Alan Z. I got 3. Chris got 4. He's the winner.
Mark, congratulations to Chris Bonanno. Jackson, I heard your reaction to what the Ravens just did. What say you on this?
What happened?
Ty Simpson, number 13. Wow. Matthew Stafford replacement at 13. I did not see that coming at all. I actually said when he came out earlier that they put him in the green room for him to go in the second round, which I was dead wrong apparently. Wow.
This is crazy. You want to talk about – no wonder the Rams don't usually pick in the first round, guys. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah, that's something. I'll tell you that.
You know what that is?
That is crazy to me. I'm gonna duck off in the background here. That is crazy to me. And now the Ravens have to absolutely be licking their chops because they still got the third, in my opinion, the second best offensive tackle in the draft available, the best second or third best pass rusher available, second or third best wide receiver available. Eric DeCosta can't blow this, can he, Mark?
Yes, he can. And if you're Ty Simpson, by the way, I just want to say this. This is fantastic. You get to sit for 2 or 3 years and let Stafford keep playing, and you don't have to do nothing. This is the best case scenario for Ty Simpson.
Jackson, why do you make this pick?
My only thing is and that's a Matthew Stafford replacement at the end of the day. And I heard some slight rumors of that coming up, and I kind of dismissed them honestly. But that could signal that Matthew Stafford, this could be one and done for him this year. It's something to think about.
Yeah. All right, Jackson. Can Eric DeCosta of the Ravens blow this pick?
I mean, they can just pick Ruben Bain or Mekhi Lemon, and I think they'll be just fine. I mean, you got two great options right there. Just make the. I mean, the pick was in quickly, so
I'm going with Ruben Bain, and Matablikwe just had neck surgery a couple of weeks ago. He'll probably come back this season, but he'll be on the IR. He'll 6-8 weeks in. The Ravens will put him there. The Ravens were one of the worst pass rushing teams in the National Football last year. I know, we went and got the guy, the big dude out of Cincinnati, lost Max Crosby. I get all that. But if you could pair a Ruben Bain up, I think, we were talking earlier about the Browns potentially having one of the top pass rushing duos in the league. That could belong to the Ravens if they do the right thing here.
Bain and Trey Hendrickson.
yeah,
Trey
they definitely have the
Hendrickson
potential.
And Ruben Bain.
Is that the pick? Where did you go, Alan? We can't see you. What happened?
Yeah, I'm here. I just didn't want to look like an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot.
The Ravens made their pick, man, because I'm like all.
I want to see your reaction. I got to see your face when it happens.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh.
Yeah, all the people need to see your reaction. So, are you excited? All right, give us what's your gut reaction, buddy?
My gut reaction is they're going to go offensive line because they need it. I mean, Lamar Jackson wants it, and they need it. Where they should go is Ruben Bain Jr. That's where they should go. Because
listen, back there and wishing that he falls 15.
If you believe the bullshit, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. If you believe the bull that Eric DeCosta was feeding and that he was going to sign Crosby and Hendrickson, then you got to believe the pick here is Ruben Bain.
I love it. I love we're getting Brevard Sports Network After Dark. That's where is this for subscribers only? Is this the real Alan?
My apologies to the families watching at home.
No, this ain't Coco football. This ain't the Florida Gators. This is personal for Alan. He needs to know what's happening. Okay?
Let's go. And then Jackson, the Panthers are at 19. So this thing is flying. So you got to hang out at least till 19.
Oh, yeah,
if not, text Knockrider, see if he's home.
All right. Here's the question for the Carolina Panthers. As Alan's going to yell any minute now. Do you think
they took the guard out of Penn State? It's a safe pick. Okay. All right. It's a safe pick. All right. Listen.
Who's on the board?
I'm not a fan. You see how hard I'm poking, right? I'm not a fan of taking an interior offensive lineman in the first round, but I'm here and not knowing Mills, Maryland.
Yeah.
Come on, Tampa.
Well,
Tampa
see if Ruben Bain stays in Florida. That pick went in immediately, by the way, so they knew it.
You like this pick, Jackson?
I mean, this was the one I had mocked originally without all the players that have slid. I think for the Ravens, it's a fit that they need. It does address a need, but at some point, you got Ruben Bain on the board and you got Mekhi Lemon on the board, and those are two guys that I think the Ravens could have benefited from big time. I don't think this is a bad pick. I don't think it's going to be a bust for him, but yeah, I don't know.
The Buccaneers have already turned their card in. Where are they going, Mark?
This is one. It's got to be defense if you're the Buccaneers. You've got that, especially last season. And I know we got someone with a Carolina Panthers jersey on right now who loves this idea where it just looks slow. It looked dated. They've got to revamp it. It's got to be defense here. It has to be.
So which one is it? Is it Downs, Styles, or Baines?
Look, if Downs, I'd go with him if he's there.
Well, Downs and Styles are gone. It's just Ruben Bain.
I'm sorry, Downs went to Dallas, right, Jackson? My apologies.
Yeah.
So is it Styles or is it Bain?
Well, Styles is gone too. It's just Ruben Bain.
Where's Styles? Oh, yeah.
Styles was top.
He went to, okay, so is it Bain then?
It has to be.
I'm all torn up over this Ravens pick.
I know. This is the problem.
I can tell.
Okay? I'm trying to go with you on this, Alan. I'm trying. Okay. It's too much. Okay. This goes into the Hall of Fame. Your reaction.
The Buccaneers pick is in, and then I'll recap the first 15 picks so that I know what the hell is going on.
If the
Go ahead, Caleb.
if the Buccaneers don't take Bain, we had the slowest and most worst front seven last year.
You're gonna have to go ahead.
We need Bain.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to wait because apparently Burger King needed to run a commercial before that.
All right. Hey, I am gonna put the winner. I'm gonna contact them. I'm gonna put everything together. Congratulations to Chris. I have to go home, buddy. Thank you for having me on the show tonight.
Yeah, take care, brother. Thank you very, very much. Did you text Knock?
He's not home yet.
Okay, all right. That's fine, Jackson. It's me and you to bring it home here.
All right.
You got time, right?
Yeah, I got nothing going on.
Congratulations to Chris Bonanno of the Vieira Voice. Of course, Chris and I have worked together multiple times. Chris spent some time with us, I believe, when we were over with Tracy for a while at 321 Sportscast and did some broadcasting, of course. Chris does a terrific job. Chris knows his sports, man. He knows his sports. And just to tell you how hard this thing is, it is, 4 picks got it right. Let's recap real quick. Jackson, let's play a little word association here, or grade association. I'm going to give the pick. You give it a grade. Ready?
Yep.
Raiders, Mendoza.
For now, it's got to be an A until we see him play.
Bailey, second.
A
to,
minus.
Jets.
A minus.
Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals at 3.
B plus.
I like this pick. I'm going to give it an A. Carnell Tate to the Titans.
C plus.
Okay. Arvell Reese to the Giants.
A plus.
Mansour Delane out of LSU to the Chiefs.
Because they traded up C.
Yeah, I agree. I even go C minus. Sonny Styles to the Commanders.
A.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State to the Saints.
B plus.
Spencer Fano from Utah to the Browns.
B minus.
Francis, I butchered this guy's name. My all got out of Miami to the Giants with their second pick in the first round.
Since I think they should have got Caleb Downs, B minus, but he's not a bad player.
Caleb Downs to Dallas, who trades up a spot to get him.
A plus.
Yeah, I agree. Caden Proctor to the Dolphins.
B.
Yeah, I'm going to go C plus. Ty Simpson out of Alabama to the Rams.
D minus.
Yeah, I agree. Loan to the Ravens out of Penn State.
I'll give him a B plus.
And we're waiting on the Buccaneers. So that's that. I mean, you still got a wide receiver, tight end, great tackle.
It is funny, too, seeing Mel Kiper have Ruben Bain the 4th best available right now, which is –
Does he really?
He has him behind Kenyon Sadiq, Monroe Freeling, and Mekhi Lemon.
Well, on this board that I am looking at, Ruben Bain is off the board, which tells me – see, sometimes you have to know where, to piece up. And I don't know if this is true. Yeah, Ruben Bain's not on this big board I'm looking at as best available left. So my question is since he's off this board, is this who the Bucs took? He's not on this big board I'm looking at here.
Looks like we're about to find out. We'll see.
Yeah, it is Ruben Bain. The Buccaneers have picked Ruben Bain.
Man.
Yeah,
lucky.
Great get. I love the pick for. I love the pick for Tampa. I really do. Tampa was probably licking their chops, hoping the Ravens wouldn't take him. But that's a great pick for Tampa Bay.
That's huge. I mean, I had them picking his teammate, Akeem Ezador, who's also a defensive end. So they just got in my opinion, the better version of the duo. But yeah, that's huge, and not looking forward to playing him in the NFC South.
No, I bet you're not. I detected that there was a little non-excitement there from you. I just think this is a terrific pick. I have Ruben Bain as one of my best players in this draft, and maybe he's not the fastest, maybe he's not the strongest, maybe he didn't put up the most sacks, but I think the thing that Ruben Bain brings, he brings that old Canes mentality, that dog, that I'm going to get in your face and punch you in your face every play mentality that you don't see in the National Football League anymore. And I felt like the team that landed him was getting a guy that was going to be able to do this for years to come. And now I believe he comes into this with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, I think the thing for him that people were talking about was his arm length. It's the shortest arm length of any first-round edge since 2003. But for me, it's just show me. And I think if you watch any Miami game, especially going as far as they did in the playoffs, he was arguably their best, probably not arguably, he was their best defensive player. He dominated on the defensive side of the football. And I get college football is different from the NFL, but I'm not too worried about his arm length if he can go out there and disrupt the way he did. And I don't think that's going to hurt him too badly.
Send Knock the link. He's home now.
Okay. All right. Yep. So we're going to get Knock's take on this. I'm going to send Anthony the link to join us as well. Tell him to just use whatever device he's using's microphone. No Bluetooth. So, all right, I'll send. So we got the Jets up next, and their pick is already in. What are they going to do with their second pick here?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think I had them going wide receiver, and now the fact Mekhi Lemon's still here, I think that's where the Jets should probably go.
I agree.
I'm interested to see. I don't think they would go quarterback panic, but I think that was their plan for the second round was to go Ty Simpson. I thought that seemed to be the way the whole way. So the fact that he's gone, I think the Jets, unless I'm forgetting somebody, are lined up to be starting Geno Smith week 1, which is in 2026 not a good thing to be doing. But I don't think that taking Carson Beck at pick 16, that would be brutal. So I don't think they're going to do that. But, for the Jets, I think that they are now in a mode where they do kind of have to change up their tempo because quarterback probably won't be their option till the 3rd or 4th round.
Wouldn't shock me. I'm trying to figure out who's off the big board here since the Jets pick is in. That's how I've been able to figure this thing out tonight and announce these picks before they do on TV. It's because of who I'm seeing come off of this big board I'm on. And so I don't see so far they haven't taken anybody off. Still got the big tackle from Georgia, Monroe Freeling left. We'll see. I mean, again, and listen, Aaron Glenn, they could go. I'm with you. I think this needs to be Mekhi Lemon. Offensively, this team has been tragic for years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Mekhi Lemon has the potential to be the best wide receiver of this draft class too. I really like what I saw at him in college. So I think that would be a great pick for New York.
Let's welcome in Anthony Knockreiner. Knock, what's going on, brother?
Not much, Alan. Just getting caught up here and really surprised that the Bucs ended up with Ruben Bain.
How happy are Caleb's over here? I mean, Caleb can only lift his arms in the air. It's not like he can do things. But how happy are you about this? Well, break this pick down.
I mean, it's funny because I saw Akeem Mesidor. I thought we were going to get Mesidor at this point. I was actually convincing myself to be okay with that pick because honestly, I wanted us to trade down. I wanted us to get out of the 15th overall pick. I didn't want us to stay here. So I was hoping we can go back and get back to 23 or 24 or 25. So that way we can get a couple more picks in the second round because the player that I really want the Bucs to draft is Jacob Rodriguez, but I don't know if he's going to be there in the second round where the Bucs are picking. So, I'm happy with Ruben Bain. We'll see what he does as an edge rusher. One of the big problems though, that I do have with us drafting an edge rusher is, Alan, the last time that we actually drafted a Pro Bowl or All Pro pass rusher was Leroy Selman. So we haven't had a lot of success in this realm for as many guys as we've drafted for the Bucks.
Kenyon Sadiq, tight end I love out of Oregon, is who the Jets select, and I don't think they could have went wrong there either. I like Kenyon Sadiq.
Well,
Go ahead.
they have Trailer too, don't they?
Yeah, but
Or Taylor?
and those double tight ends in the NFL. Yeah, I love the formations. Belichick thrived on it for years with the Patriots. If you run it right, you do it right, it can be highly successful. It can also hide a lot of flaws in your wide receiving core.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Kenyon Sadiq's a guy too with his athleticism that he's pretty much like a flex wide receiver. I mean, he's
Yeah.
fast. I mean, he's a guy you can use in multiple different situations. So for the Jets, I could see it addressing kind of both needs in that way, playing him out wide, even how they're showing his highlights on the draft, and he runs routes like a receiver.
So the last 5 picks in this draft are Kenyon Sadiq to the Jets, Reuben Bain Jr. to the Bucks, Alavagne Alone, the guard to the Ravens. Knock, I don't know if you got a chance to catch this or not, but what do you think of the Rams drafting of Ty Simpson?
It's funny. I did not have Ty Simpson going that high. Like, I didn't even think the Rams. I mean, I feel like you could have still got him in the 2nd or 3rd round. Like, I feel like all the hype lately was just that's all we ever get every draft. There's always that one quarterback that just gets that hype that gets moved up, and then all of a sudden, they end up in the 1st round where you probably could have got him in the 3rd. But Sean McVay and that brain trust must see something to take Ty Simpson in the 1st round, especially when you look at next year's draft with all the quarterbacks that are coming out in that draft.
Caden Proctor out of Alabama. Look, every Alabama tackle is going to have elite size, elite speed, this, that, and the other. My thing with the Dolphins is this, and they did make a trade. They did move back as the Lions are on the draft board here. They did move back. I don't know. I thought there were better, maybe 1 or 2 better players, tackles available that the Dolphins could have went. But like Jackson said, the Dolphins have so many needs that I don't think as long as they get a really, really good player for this slot, plus they're picking up additional draft capital from Dallas. I mean, ultimately, I don't have a problem with it. I just wanted to see him go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think the thing with them too is just the fact that they weren't as bad last year as their roster is now, just because of how many players that they let go. So most times you see a team with that many needs, they're just higher in the number now 12 because they traded back.
So the Detroit Lions are on the clock now, and I think if you're talking about teams that I mean, everybody and their grandmother picked the Detroit Lions to go to the Super Bowl last year, and you want to talk about a team that just faded out down the stretch. What do you think the Lions do here? I mean, they're aging at quarterback, right? What do they do here?
I think they're going tackle. I think they're going to get the guy from Georgia.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's got to be a line.
I think it's a layup. I think Fleming is a layup. Then you got the Vikings and then your Panthers. Jackson, is this falling better than you expected with the way the board is now? Where are your Panthers now?
Yeah, I think the only thing that really changes is if Mekhi Lemon's there. I think we might think wide receiver again. Still want Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon, but I really think he's going to end up going to the Vikings with Kenyon Sadiq gone too. It kind of would throw a wrench into things, in my opinion, for what I thought that the Panthers would do. Again, that's where you could jump up and maybe go out and get somebody else that was mocked lower. But I think if Mekhi Lemon's there, you may see the Panthers go wide receiver 3 years in a row in the 1st round, which I would not like, but I definitely think that's a possibility if he's still there.
Curious to get your take on this, guys. The Seattle Seahawks, 4 picks in this draft. They are the Super Bowl champs. They pick last. A lot of people I read today, Daniel Jeremiah being one of them, believe the Seahawks will even make a trade out of the 1st round with the Ravens. The Ravens want to jump back into the 1st round, maybe pick up, maybe if Akeem Mesidor is still there, but pick up a pass rusher or a defensive lineman. I don't know, man. I mean, I can't see the Seahawks unless they can get an immense amount of draft capital from the Ravens in this deal, who always have it. 4 picks, not a lot. to continue to build a franchise that just won a Super Bowl under a young head coach. Knock.
I mean, yeah, you have to. At this point, you'd have to look at it and go, I'd almost want more third, fourth, fifth round picks. I don't care. I mean, I don't know where Seattle's picking in terms of the rest of the rounds after their first round pick, but I would have to hope that I get multiple fourths or fifths or thirds at this point just to kind of be serviceable, because I think between 3 and 5 is where you're going to find legit starters. And if I'm the Seahawks, I'm looking to try and trade back and get those kind of picks. 6th and 7th rounders. I mean, again, not trying to discredit, because obviously those guys are getting drafted, but more times than not, that's your special team guys. And obviously Seattle's trying to reload in that very competitive NFC West.
Alabama has saved the day. I think this is the 18th or 19th straight year the Crimson Tide have had a pick in the first round of the NFL draft. But you know, this looks like the Big Ten all day long. This morning, the Action Network reported that that the Big Ten, you know, were a 74% favorite to have the most picks in this draft, which would end the SEC's 19-year run, Jackson, as the Lions get ready to make their pick. And we'll tell you who it is, and then I want to get Jackson's thoughts on the shifting conferences. And, you know, what does the SEC do about this? How do you address this? Can you address this? It's Blake Miller, an offensive tackle out of Clemson. So, obviously, Fleming is falling for a reason, but the consensus here was that it would be a tackle or a lineman, and it was for the Lions, Blake Miller out of Clemson. So that's the pick. Jackson, your take on likely the SEC not having the most amount of draft picks this year?
Yeah, it's just kind of a sign of the times. I think at this point with NIL kind of evening the playing field, the Big Ten. I mean, Ohio State this year is loaded up, Indiana out of nowhere with their guys, but even just conference realignment as well. I mean, the Big Ten added Oregon, who's a powerhouse, sending guys to the NFL. You know, they add USC, UCLA. I mean, just the teams that I think that the Big Ten added as well, just so their arsenal really leads to it as well. And again, just really the evening of playing field with NIL. I mean, the SEC, we've already seen it. I mean, Big Ten just won college football and college basketball this year, which they haven't done since who knows how long. So, yeah, at this point, it just feels like a sign of the times.
Knock, you got a thought on this?
I think that's where the best football is being played. I mean, I'll just echo what Jackson said. I think the NIL's leveled the playing field, and these Big Ten schools have really poured the money into it. So now they're getting the best players, and we're seeing those players now being drafted in the first round. So, I mean, yeah, Big Ten all the way, and I don't see it changing. I think the Big Ten's about to go on what's been the SEC's run. I don't know if it'll be 20 years, but I mean, it's tough to look at the Big Ten and all the programs in there. Like Jackson mentioned, Oregon, USC's only getting better. I mean, UCLA there too, Washington, and then on top of that, you still got Ohio State. Indiana is now turning into a football factory too. So yeah, no, I love what the Big Ten's doing though, and I love the little bit of change because I mean, like I said, it was getting kind of boring with the SEC just dominating every year.
The most unbelievable statistic of the night was this from Max Preps today, and I don't know if any of you saw this. States with the most number one overall picks in NFL draft history. Now, while Florida has produced the most amount of total draft picks over the last 10 years, let's say, Florida tonight with Fernando Mendoza, all time in the NFL draft, got their second player taken number one overall. That's incredible to me.
Wow.
Go Gators.
Who did
Caleb Banks, number 18.
Caleb Banks. How do you think, Jackson? You're up there. You like it?
That's huge. That was not expected. Caleb Banks, very good athletic, very good profile to be a first-round pick, but his injury issues, everyone here in Gainesville thought he was going to slip to round 2, which would have marked the first time that Florida hasn't had a player in the first round in 2 straight years in over 35 years, but don't have to worry about that anymore because Caleb Banks goes number 18.
So Caleb Banks saves the day tomorrow. You back on the Sports Lab anymore this week?
I wish. No, I won't be. But that was part of our conversation. We kind of chalked it up that it was going to be a round 2 pick, unfortunately. And that was just because of injuries. Me and my co-host said that, you know, his talent is definitely round 1 talent, but he had a foot injury at the combine. Didn't know how that was going to affect things. But luckily it keeps him in the first round. That's huge.
Coming up next, Jackson, is going to be your Panthers. Knock, I'm kind of curious because I know you and I have talked about this off camera or texted with each other. What will the Buccaneers do the rest of this draft? What do they need to do here to right the ship, pun intended?
Inside linebacker, and then corner. And let's just stick with all defense for this draft. Listen, it's got to be Jacob Rodriguez. We've got to find a way, I think, to get him. I think he fits the profile for Todd Bowles. He's a blitzing linebacker. He's very physical and aggressive. I love what he can do in terms of pass coverage. He's a ball hawking linebacker, and this defense lacked in turnovers last year. And he's the type of guy that can make those turnovers happen on this defense. You pair him with Alex Anzalone, and listen, that's not the only place. The Bucks have to go get another inside linebacker even after if they were able to get Jacob Rodriguez. Tampa's got to leave with this draft with 2 inside linebackers, and I'd like to see him in the earlier rounds than later. If they can add some defensive tackle depth, that would be great as well. Add another pass rusher. I'm torn because this is also the reason why I wanted Tampa to kind of move back and maybe even move out of the first round. I want R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma, the pass rusher there. I think he's going to go in the second round. I'd like to see Tampa get him, but like I said, I'd also like him to get Jacob Rodriguez. And it's going to be really tough when you only got 1 pick in the second round to try and get either one of those players if they're both available where the Bucks pick. So it's got to be all defense here. I'd like maybe you go a guard. A swing guy in terms of depth for the offensive line, because we saw what happened at Tampa's offensive line last year. Once the starting guards went down, it was pretty much just a door for defensive tackles to get at Baker Mayfield. I don't need to worry about wide receiver. We're fine there. I'm good with K-Dot and a tight end. Like I said, I'm not worried about offense at all. Really, outside of like you want to go with a depth piece for offensive line, but everything else has to go through the defense.
Jackson, I know you said, I think you told me you weren't crazy at the notion that the Panthers would take a wide receiver, but with Kai Lemon still on the board and he's going to be a very good slot guy in the NFL. What do you want to see? What what do they do here with what's left on the board? You got Lemon, you got Freeling, you got McCoy, Mesidor, where Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo. What do you want? You're the general manager. What is your pick you've turned in?
Yeah, right now I like the way Dylan Thieneman has fell to us. This is what I wanted safety-wise. Akeem Mesidor still being on the board's big too. I would not be mad at Akeem Mesidor, although the Panthers didn't spend a lot on the pass rush with Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd. I would not be mad at Akeem Mesidor or Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. I think those are the guys that has to be. I don't think Mekhi Lemon's going to be bad in the league. If we pick him, it's not a bad pick, but 2 years ago was Xavier Legette. Last year, great pick in Tedroy McMillan, but 3 straight years, your top 3 wide receivers, including Jalen Coker, top 4 wide receivers, are going to be very young and inexperienced. So I don't think that sets us up the best. I don't think that's our biggest problem right now. Again, with Dylan Thieneman, I think safety depth is huge, and adding to the guys we already have in the secondary. And again, with Akeem Mesidor still being there, that would be great as well.
So we look at the schools, gentlemen, 15 in 2022, the all-time record, Texas in 1974, with 17 players taken in an NFL draft. Thus far in this one tonight, it's Ohio State, Alabama. Ohio State with, what do we got here for Ohio State? We got 3 for Ohio State. We got 2 for Alabama. Actually, we got 4 for Ohio State. Listen, Ohio State could bump up next to that 15 Georgia had in 2022, guys.
They really could. I mean, Ohio State, again, ton of guys there, and we still got guys that they could take here as well. I mean, here's the real question. How did Ohio State not win the national title last year? All these guys, and they didn't win it.
Indiana, baby. Ryan Day in the big one, bro. That's all I can tell you. Sorry to all my Buckeye friends out there. The Panthers pick is in. Let's all sit back and watch Jackson's reaction like you enjoyed my disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a lot of excitement there.
I don't want to ruin it for him, but it's Monroe.
That's a backup pick. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want that.
Wait, Alan, you didn't like guard?
I don't. I don't think, to me, you just don't. I don't like interior offensive linemen in that high in the draft unless they're really, really, really super special, and this guy's a really good player. It's kind of like, somebody once told me if you're going to buy clothes, right, and it's expensive, and you try it on, and you go, all right, I'm going to get it, but then you ask yourself this: do I like it or do I love it?
Mhm.
And if you answer you like it a lot, you put it back on the rack. If you love it, you take it to the counter. I like this pick a lot. I don't love it.
Fair. And Jackson, are you feeling that way?
I don't like it a lot. Yeah,
Who wants to put it back?
I just you don't draft depth when you have starters on the board. Like I don't get it. I mean, okay, at the end of the day, yeah, we have an injury right now to one of our starting offensive linemen. Sure, he'll be out to start the season, but after that, Monroe Freeling is going to go right back on the shelf. Like that doesn't do anything after the first half of the year once our guys get one guy that's out gets fully healthy.
And here's the coolest thing. Now the Eagles get to step up. And if you don't think that they're going to take, I mean,
Mekhi
they're
Lemon.
known for stealing players in drafts. I think they got a chance to steal a couple of guys here.
They got Mekhi Lemon, and that just means A.J. Brown's as good as gone, which we knew.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's right. Yeah, they stole him. So there you go. And then now you got the Steelers, who
Where do they go? Because they've got offensive line needs, and a lot of the linemen are pretty much gone.
That's exactly where they go. And they still don't know who their quarterback's going to be next year. They don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. They don't know.
And Ty Simpson's gone.
Right.
Yeah, quarterback's not an option anymore unless you. Yeah.
And you're reaching for quarterbacks at this point.
Yeah.
If you take Carson Beck in the first round,
you have the most picks in this draft if you're the Steelers, right? I feel like, do you keep building the defense? You could go with Thiernan out of Oregon. They're always love those safeties. Do you want another pass rusher? I mean, look, Watt last year had issues staying healthy. Do you go get Mesidor? Do you reach a little bit? The next best wide receiver on the board is a guy by the name of Denzel Boston on the board I'm looking at. I don't know what they do here, but they got 12 picks in this draft, and they better
trade back
because they're hosting this thing.
Yeah, I had them going Monroe Freeling instead of the Panthers, so I do think O-line's where they could go, but it's just who's left at this point. You can go Max Iheanacho out of Arizona State, and that's seems like the next best tackle at this point, which wouldn't be a terrible pick. He's still a first-round talent, just a little early, but I think that is their biggest need, so it wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah. Got the guy out of Utah, too. It's not too bad.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so, I mean, I just think, those guys are gone. This is where going 9-8 sucks, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Right? If what's his name hits that field goal, the Ravens and the Steelers are swapping picks here. But they got to make this pick, right, guys? I mean, the draft is being held in Kansas City.
I mean, but if I'm them, I want to trade back. I mean,
I think you do.
But again, who's willing to trade back? Because I thought we were going to see a lot of trades tonight. What, we've had 2, 3, maybe 3. I think we've had.
It depends. It depends on what they're asking for. But I think any of the players the Steelers would want at this point, they could get 4 or 5 spots behind them. Especially if you go defense and you're the Steelers, a guy like Mesidor. But Jackson, I think you're right. I think they gotta find an offensive lineman who they could probably get a little further down here in the first round.
Yeah, and I think they were trying to trade back because this is the first time tonight I've seen a team go below a minute left on the pick clock. The pick just went in for them with like 50 seconds left. So my guess is they were probably fielding calls or trying, but
they probably couldn't find a buyer, and the pick is in. And let's see here. No, not updated quite yet.
I mean, Akeem Mesidor is still here too. If they just want to go best player available, or someone like Dylan Thieneman in that secondary. I mean, it just depends on what they. If you don't offensive line is clearly the biggest need, but if you don't want to pick guys a little bit above their value, then you still have
This
guys that could steal.
this is a spot where the Steelers will traditionally pick a player that ends up being a superstar on the defensive side of the football. You know what I mean? I mean, they seem to find that guy every freaking year, and it drives me crazy. But
Yeah,
listen,
but Alan, are you suffering from just a tradition of this stuff, because it doesn't feel like the Steelers are quite the Steelers of old in terms of that nature, because they're still 9-8 every single year. They got injuries on defense. That defense is good for the first half of the season. I don't know if the Steelers are quite in the same capacity as their front office used to be.
I just don't think it's their defense, though. I think their offense has buried them for the last 8 to 10 years. I think Mike Tomlin forgot how to. I mean, he's had some of the worst offensive coordinators you could imagine come in there, and I just think the Steelers' offense has failed them during this time period. I really, honestly don't think it's really ever been their defense. And the approach has always been, well, if we can't add that player, then let's continue to build the defense. And I think they're stuck here again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they're right back in that same mindset and scenario again. Now, it's interesting because now you got Mike McCarthy, right? You got an offensive-minded head coach. You don't have Mike Tomlin anymore. Mike McCarthy, don't forget, Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl. Now he's in Pittsburgh. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure he wants to go offense, but is it worth whatever they're going to take here? And I think that's the issue they're dealing with.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of just wants and needs. Because again, you got guys you could want that are just better overall players for this position in the draft, and then there's needs like offensive line, which is, again, I think far and away their biggest need. It's just these guys aren't going to be possibly projected top 21 picks, but if you just want to go needs, that's what you got to do.
So here's what we'll do, guys. We'll go through the Steelers, and then we'll get our final thoughts and wrap it up for the night. Because I'm not going to sit on here, for the rest of the draft. But we got the Steelers, the Chargers, the Cowboys, Browns, Bears, Bills, Niners, Texans, Chiefs, Dolphins, Patriots, and that's a Seahawk down there at 32. So the Seattle Seahawks. So as we wait for the Steelers pick here, unless this is refreshed, let's see if we can spoil it for those watching at home. Nope, not yet. I'm really interested in this pick. Not because I'm a Ravens fan, just because of what we just talked about. I really don't like those towels.
Just surprised it's taken this long to get the pick in.
Yeah.
We were.
They've also had a whole. They also had a whole ceremony for it because they're the hosts.
Oh.
I've been watching it. They just have like a whole highlight montage.
I'm
starting to see why they lowered the time for everybody else, because the Steelers are going to take 15 minutes.
From a production standpoint, it looks like to me they had to slow this thing down, because cutting this draft back from 10 minutes to 8 minutes, this thing was flying along.
I liked it because, I mean, in past years, the joke was the pick would be in and then wait 10 minutes
tackle, anyway. Max, however you say his last name, Ahinachor out of Arizona.
From Arizona State.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad pick. He's a first-round guy. It's just a little early, but that's what they needed, and they went and got it.
Yeah, that's exactly a great point. That's more, drafting the need of the best player you have on your board available. Okay, guys, as we get set to wrap this up, let me just go through. Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall, and in doing so, Mendoza joins a very select group of football players as he becomes just the 6th player ever selected number 1 overall. He also won a Heisman Trophy and a national championship. He joins Angelo Bertelli, Leon Hart, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, and Joe Burrow. So he goes number 1 overall. Number 2 to the Jets is David Bailey. Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals at 3. Knock, I got Jackson's take on this. Did you like Love to the Cardinals at 3?
No, because I wanted Love at 15. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, listen, I think Jeremiah Love is a great football player. I think he'll be a great back in this league. I think he's a game changer and for an offense. Again, the problem for the Cardinals is that I think they needed more O-line than they do a running back because, again, it's kind of the same problem because I saw Jeremiah Love mock to the Titans. They don't have a great O-line. And if you don't have a great O-line, your running back's not going to go anywhere. No matter how talented he is. So I don't mind it, but Arizona's got to have a plan for it. I hope Jeremiah Love succeeds. He was fantastic at Notre Dame. I'm glad I don't have to see him in this division.
Carnell Tate to the Titans. Cam Ward's help at the wideout position from Ohio State. The receiver Arvell Reese drops into the lap of the New York G-Men Giants. The linebacker out of Ohio State at 5. Mansour Delane out of LSU. The cornerback to the Chiefs at 6, who traded up from 9 with Cleveland to get him. Sonny Styles, the Ohio State linebacker to the Commanders at 7. Jordan Tyson, the Arizona State wide receiver to the Saints at 8. Spencer Fano out of Utah, the offensive tackle to the Browns at 9. Francis Mayangwa from Miami to the Giants at 10. Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State, to the Cowboys at 11. Caden Proctor from Alabama, the offensive tackle, to the Dolphins. The shock of the first round to me, Ty Simpson from Alabama to Sean McVay and the Rams at 13. Olavinye Loan from Penn State, the interior guard, to the Ravens at 14. Reuben Bain Jr. to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 15. Kenyon Sadiq, the great tight end hybrid out of Oregon, goes to the Jets. Blake Miller, the offensive tackle out of Clemson, goes to the Lions. Caleb Banks out of Florida goes to the Vikings. Monroe Freeling out of Georgia goes to the Panthers. Makai Lemon out of USC to the Eagles. Max Ihanachor out of Arizona State, the offensive tackle, to the Steelers. Knock, your take, your best pick and worst pick so far here tonight, and your final take.
My worst pick has to be Ty Simpson to the Rams because, again, I don't think that there was anybody there that was going to jump up and get him at 13. So shocked there by the Rams, especially. I mean, they have that pick from the Falcons. So, again, I think that's the worst pick. Best pick, I definitely think is honestly, I loved what the Giants did with both picks at 5 and 10. The thing that I'm curious now is Kayvon Thibodeau available for trade? Because, I mean, they got a ton of pass rushers. I can't imagine they're going to keep them all. So can you make a deal to get Thibodeau for a 3rd or 4th round pick potentially? So that's where my question goes. And obviously I love what the Bucs were able to do, getting Reuben Bain. I don't have a problem with getting Bain there. Love that we were able to get him at 15. I didn't feel great about taking Messidor at 15, but that we got Bain, I'm good with it.
Well, Messidor has now gone to the Chargers at 22. Jackson, your worst pick, best pick, and your final thoughts on what we've seen thus far.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like an echo of Knock here, but Ty Simpson's got to be the worst. And I'm going to go specifically Arvell Reese probably is the best. Just the fact that he was a guy that was projected number 2 overall. The Giants get him at 5. I think for them, that's probably the best value pick overall. Panthers-wise, I'm still just disappointed more than anything. But, such is life. But good news is we had a good free agency, so we'll see what happens.
I was going to actually say the same exact thing as obviously you guys with Ty Simpson. It just is. I mean, there's just no other way to go here, in my opinion. The best pick, I'll go different here. To me, I like Jeremiah Love. I just think the guy's an outstanding playmaker. Again, I don't know what's going to happen moving forward in Arizona. And I know you talked about offensive line, but listen, I just think Love is the best player, best athlete, dynamic player in this draft. I love watching him play. Loved watching him play at Notre Dame. Jackson, I agree with you. I love Marvell Reese. My favorite pick, though, is, not the best, but my favorite is Bain Jr. to the Bucks. I just think that felt so sweet for what the Bucks need to accomplish. And to be honest with you, I think the rest of this draft sets up quite nicely for Tampa Bay. Miami plays their cards right. It could for them as well. Jacksonville obviously doesn't have a first-round pick. We'll see what they do. But, guys, man, I can't thank you enough. I want to thank Mark Moses. Mark's terrific. Congratulations to Chris Bonanno, who won the Highland Mint draft coin and $50 to spend wherever he likes. So, guys, thank you very much for Mark Moses, Caleb Brown, Anthony Knockreiner, Jackson Robb. Enjoy the rest of the draft. I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski. This is the Brevard.